So, Chris, how's spring going for you so far? What's
It's going pretty good. I feel like we're picking up right off where we left from the bowl game, and they're just adding more stuff into our playbook, and I feel like we're just picking it up fast where we left off.
You have some new faces in the mix this year. Anybody caught your eye? Who jumps out so far?
Everybody that's really transferred in. JJ Spartman, DJ Allen, who else? Everybody that's really just transferred in has picked up where we left off and been learning good, so we're straight.
What stands out about this wide receivers group that you guys have this year?
Depth. I feel like now we're in the position to have like more people in the room knowing a lot more positions, so we'll be able to trade in and trade out during the game.
You still have some size in there, but there's a lot of speed in that unit as well. What does that sort of do for the offense?
I feel like it pushes the defense vertical. We had more of a vertical threat this year compared to last year.
Who's the fastest guy in that group?
I wouldn't say myself as right now, but I feel like I'm getting older. Devin McEwen, Coach Shirley mentioned it, but David Almondor is up there too. So.
Yeah. I know Devin said it would be a close race between the two of you.
Yeah, I feel like I still got him. I feel like he's quicker than me, but if we're running like 100 or something, I pick up speed as I go. So I feel like I got him longer.
You guys have any desire to set that up? Run a
I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm here for it.
You mentioned David Amador. You have some young guys in here who have really made an impact. What stands out about him in particular?
David Amador came in early. He early graded, and he's just a fast learner in general. Whenever he got here, he picked up right with us, and he's also learning more positions. So he's expanding his palette. So
we obviously saw what Devin accomplished last year. What was it like for you just watching him kind of emerge?
So I've been knowing Devin since he was like a kid. So it's crazy getting to play with him. But it was definitely good seeing him work out like he did. I wasn't expecting it, honestly, but I'm glad he got experience now under his belt. He'll be ready for his senior year. And, lost my train of thought.
You're good.
But it was good seeing him work.
It's interesting for you guys coming from that part of the state, you and Devin, and then Owen, quarterback as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any kind of connection, you and him?
Yeah, our parents all went to high school together, so we've really been knowing each other since we were kids.
What's it like? Just kind of funny that all these years later, that you.
It is actually funny because I was at Colorado, and then after I left, Owen had just got there, so it was a funny thing how God works, putting us all three in the same place.
I didn't even think about that connection. Did he talk to you about Colorado at all?
I mean, he talked to me a little bit about wanting to come there, and I was like, hey, come, we can make something work. But I mean, I didn't know what God had for me, and I ended up leaving. So I mean, it was a cool experience though.
You were ahead of him in coming here. Did he talk to you about that part at all too?
A little bit, but mainly Coach Shirley.
Yeah, obviously. So, what have you seen from Owen through the spring? What sort of stands out about what he brings to the table?
You see where he left and did in the ball game. I feel like he's just learning more and just getting better by the day.
How do you compare him and Eddie Lee? Do they bring different things to the offense?
It's hard to compare really because they're all their own person. But I feel like Owen has his own personality, so does the other quarterback. So they're all different.
How does that change, though, from a receiver standpoint? Because you got a righty and a lefty. That ball obviously rotates differently, so the movement on that ball is a little bit. So how much, especially in a practice, in a game, you get into that flow, but in a practice, one route you're catching it this way and then another route. Is there that much of a difference in that?
I feel like it's not much of a difference for me personally, just because when Frank was a lefty and working with him since I got here, and then moving to Eddie and back to Owen, I feel like it's no different really. It's just really about eye contact.
How do you look back on your season last year and what you did individually?
I feel like, in my personal opinion, I could have did way better on special teams, but I mean, I still have more room to grow and expand. But I feel like from a receiver standpoint, I still have a lot more room to progress in my work.
What are some of the things that stand out in that way? Like, what are you working on, or where do you want to improve?
I feel like changing positions too. Like, I want to learn a whole playbook, ins and outs, and press release is what I'm working on. That I took from last season to this season.
Is that like the potential to line up at different spots in the formation, like inside receiver as well?
Correct.
Like that?
Yeah.
Is that an adjustment, or is that easy to pick up?
No, whenever I first transferred here, I worked at the slot, and then I moved to outside. So it's really just picking up off where I left.
Which do you prefer?
either or. It really doesn't matter.
There's not one that it was just like, hey, this is the go
I
route.
like
This
both.
is
Yeah.
I remember we talked in the fall, and you really gave us kind of a rundown of some of the things that you had to do mentally to sort of pull yourself out of a dark place that you had been the year prior. Where do you stand with all that stuff now? Like, how are things going for you day to day?
I feel like I'm in a way better place now. I'm matured and learned from my mistakes back then and took every day by step. So I feel like I'm in a way better headspace right now.
Does that help you as you go through spring practice and
For
short
sure.
term game?
For sports and for school, for sure. I'm doing way better in school, so I'm close to graduating. Coach Taylor, so we're gonna go graduate, man.
What motivates you at this time of year to be kind of locked in and to stay on point with all that kind of stuff?
How close I am to finishing school and still have, obviously, my son that I think about 24/7. So taking care of him and setting myself up for the future for success. So,
What are you getting your degree in?
multidisciplinary studies.
Have you thought about what you want to do after college or football?
I actually thought about going to the military if everything else doesn't work out. Like I would want to go to the Air Force.
Huh. What led you to sort of think that route?
The benefits of it, really, honestly, the benefits and just serving my country.
I think you told us last year that one of your goals was to sort of to find a starting spot at receiver. Is that something that still motivates you?
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. Yeah, I feel like that's everybody's dream or goal in the room is to work for that starting spot.
I know obviously there's some openings in that room without Cephas and without Thanky coming back for another year. Do you see kind of an opportunity, or how do you size up what that looks like for you going forward?
There is definitely an opportunity, but I'm not putting too much pressure on myself because I feel like I did the same thing last year. And like I said, we have a lot of depth in the room for us to switch out, and we're learning every position, so we'll be more versatile.
What did you learn from going through that last year? I know you started the first couple weeks and then ended up taking kind of a different role in the offense the rest of the way.
Yeah, I suffered an injury, Army game, and then just took a step back and looked at everything and realized it's my time whenever it's my time, and just took it as that. Just took my role in special teams and evolved from that.
Was that tough to do? I know the injury part of it is never easy, especially when you had reached that point that you wanted to get to. How did you manage that part mentally?
Yeah, injuries are always tough. It's part of the game. I feel like it's just working through with our trainers, and we have the best trainers in the country, so just working with them day by day.
Thanks, Chris.
Cool. Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate it.